Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, and I am back with the My Sims 4 wishlist video, where I talk about ideas that I want to see in The Sims 4, and talk a bit about how I want to see them executed. So, the other day I was browsing Twitter, and I saw this tweet from the Mystic Simmer, saying retweet if you want to make your Sims famous in The Sims 4. So, I have wanted a pack that reintroduces celebrities into the game, but I've never really given it much thought, at least at this point, because right now I think, like most people, I'm really focused on just wanting pets and seasons to come back. So those I do want to return first, but then what about afterwards? So this tweet actually made me think a little bit more about, okay, so if they were to do a celebrity pack, how do I think it should be done? And I came up with this idea that I think is really great and does blend a couple of old ideas together that could kind of make something a little bit more fresh instead of it just being exactly like Superstar or exactly like Showtime. So I would have this once again come as an expansion pack, not a game pack, because expansion packs do have a broader appeal than game packs, and I think like the idea of being famous and all that stuff is something that has a pretty wide appeal, and it's not just like some small niche idea. The new world that would come with this expansion pack would be kind of like a fusion between San Myshuno and Starlight Shores to make it very kind of Las Vegas inspired. So it would be fairly dense like San Myshuno, but it would be more of a coastal city, and it could even have its own beach area. Maybe even with a swimmable ocean too, if they figure that out before that point, because I do think they could do swimmable oceans in The Sims 4, just not in the worlds that we have now, but I think they could make at least one or two worlds designed around oceans that your Sims can actually swim in, or maybe even scuba dive in. But I think having a Vegas-inspired world would really just bring this expansion pack together, because not only would you have the work aspect of trying to become famous, but then you'd also have the whole, what do they do when they're not trying to reach like the 5-star level? So they can spend their time gambling away at the casino. And if they do make another world that is kind of similar to San Myshuno, then that could also be another excuse to give us more apartments and penthouses if they really do want that major feature from city living to be shared across another pack. As for the 3 new careers, these would be the ones that would most help your sim get famous. So there would be the film actor, where you can actually see your sims on like movie sets, filming scenes, and there would be the return of the bands feature from previous Sims games, and there would also be the fashion model career returning from The Sims Superstar. There would also be other existing careers in the game that could help your sim become famous once they're up in the higher levels, like the social media career, painter, and writer. What I think could be really cool with the bands feature in particular was if they managed to get instruments from other packs working as well, like singing from City Living or the pipe organ from Vampires. As for the instruments that would come with the expansion pack itself, are the electric guitar, drums, saxophone, upright bass, and the bass guitar. And it'd of course be compatible with all the instruments that have come with the base game. With a wide variety of instruments, then you could support a wide variety of genres too, like pop, rock, and jazz, which is actually the main reason I put the saxophone on there. I'd really love to see the saxophone as an instrument in The Sims, because we've only seen that in The Sims so far as part of the saxophone NPC player from The Sims Unleashed. As for the fame system itself, I'd like it to work a lot like it did in The Sims Superstar, where you actually earn your fame. Because even though it is possible to get famous just from who you know in real life, I think it is a lot better just to earn your fame. Like, you could have a little bit of impact on your fame from knowing famous Sims, but it would be like a fairly small effect, and it would not be something that could take you from 0 stars to 5 stars. You'd still have to earn 5 stars. Of course, there would be perks to maxing out your fame level. There would be the return of exclusive areas like the velvet ropes from The Sims 3 Late Night, where you could place them near a door and then a bouncer would be there to just enforce the rule, whether it's like 1-star Sims and above can get in, or only level 5 and above, and things like that. But then you'd also have like Sims kind of like fangirl a bit when your Sim is around, and maybe especially if you're a level 5 star Sim, some Sims could actually like faint. Like there could be like a fangirl trait, and those Sims would be far more likely to pass out at the sight of a level 5 Sim, which I think would be hilarious. Of course, the paparazzi would return too, and the higher your fame level, the more of them will follow you around. And if you do things like fight with your spouse in front of them, prepare to see your fame level go down. As a celebrity, you will have the pressure of trying to be a role model for the community. There'd also be a new TMZ-like TV station, I don't know, SMZ or something, and they can create like totally fake stories about you as well, which you can defend in court. But one really positive aspect is that there could be certain objects and outfits that could be unlocked for reaching different fame levels, and maybe there could be things like at level 5 you could unlock a limo complete with the driver that could drive your Sim around. Or at like level 3 or 4, you could unlock an exclusive sports car, or even like a new hot tub, things like that. Just like really cool luxury items. But I think a really cool idea for a reward would be at maybe level 4, level 5 fame level, you could unlock the ability to design your own poster in-game with your Sim on it. And then that could become available to buy from either an in-game store somewhere or from build mode itself. And yeah, you could actually have other Sims obtain that poster and just have that on their walls, so you could really see your Sims fame kind of like spread around the world. One other idea would be to have one of those flying drones kind of as like a security bot of sorts, where it could fly around your property, and if there's unwanted guests on the lot, then you could choose to have the drone kind of go after the Sim and like zap them a little bit, and the Sim would get really scared and run away. I think that would be a really amusing Sims-like touch to the expansion pack. And at this point, I guess I might be getting a little bit ambitious even for an expansion pack, but I'd love to see some cross-compatibility with the Pets expansion. Because one thing I know I've wanted to see in The Sims for a long time is have the ability for pets to become famous. And I think it would be really cool if you had both the Pets expansion and this theoretical Vegas expansion pack that I've come up with. Then not only could your human Sims become famous, but their pets as well. If we were to assume that pet shows return in the Pets expansion, then that would be a way of making your pets famous. But one other way that fame for pets could be accomplished is that if you had both expansions, then you would unlock this kind of film studio object where your Sims can film commercials with their pets, like for dog or cat food, or just other kinds of cool stuff, like toys or whatever. And that would be another way of raising your pet's fame level. And just like with human Sims, they would unlock a few reward objects as well. Like maybe you could unlock a litter box that fulfills a couple of other needs besides bladder. But I think I've talked enough about the whole work aspect of this expansion pack, so I'd like to talk more now about casinos and just the recreational aspect of this expansion. The casinos could also be places where your Sims can perform, so casinos wouldn't necessarily be limited to gambling. You could also like watch performances, or maybe if there's a pool there, you can like swim in the pool. So yeah, I think casinos could be really good in The Sims 4 if they kind of like combine the superstar aspect of it with kind of like the slot machines and the blackjack tables that we're used to. The casinos would probably only be 3 or 4 gameplay objects, so I don't think that could really cover the recreational aspect of the expansion pack on its own. So one other major idea that could be implemented is a boardwalk, which could really take advantage of the beach area that I proposed earlier. And it could work like the City Living festivals, except it would just be on the boardwalk. Maybe it could be in other neighborhoods too, but the idea that I kind of have in my head right now is that the boardwalk would change every few days and it could have some different activities. And you could like have a carnival there where you could play games like Skee-Ball or the Whack-A-Will Right game from The Sims Vacation to like earn points, and you can earn like exclusive prizes. I really loved that back in The Sims 1 Vacation, and while there kind of was that in The Sims 3 Seasons, I didn't find it as enjoyable because it's just kind of like normal stuff that you could get from the buy mode. There wasn't anything kind of like... It wasn't really that realistic, like for carnival prizes. Like winning a half pipe from the carnival didn't seem realistic at all to me. So if there was like more cute stuff, I guess, like the stuffed penguin or like cookie jars, maybe like a few functional things, but nothing like giant like a half pipe. Maybe a toaster. No, maybe not a toaster, but yeah, just like some cute little decorations, maybe a few functional things just as prizes, but nothing too grand because realistically you probably wouldn't win that at a festival in real life. For the build mode aspect, I think there'd be a lot of like grand, elegant styled kind of objects. There would be props you could place on your stage as well, just like in The Sims 3 Showtime, so you'd have some more interesting backgrounds for when your bands and other performers do their thing as well. And as for new actual features for the build mode, I think there should be the return of that gate from The Sims 3 Late Night where you could like lock the gate so you wouldn't have any unwanted guests coming in. And I think it could also be a good opportunity to introduce escalators. I think those would fit really well into casinos. There would also be the return of the split level tool from The Sims 2 so you could more easily make stages for your Sims to perform on. And both that tool and escalators would be patched into the base game at the same time as this expansion pack would come out. And there you have it, that's my pitch for a fame-oriented expansion pack that blends Superstars gameplay with aspects of Showtime and City Living in a Las Vegas-inspired world, with some other new ideas sprinkled in to help keep things fresh. Let me know in the comment section below what you'd like to see in this kind of pack. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day! Thanks for watching!